Romance scams private investigations. People sometimes get lonely and begin to look for love online. Many people end up finding the right person, falling in love, and starting beautiful families with individuals they have met online. Sadly, there are also many scammers who will happily take advantage of others who are seeking love, manipulating them just to get as much money as they possibly can. When romance scammers strike, the police and other law enforcement personnel often do little or nothing to help the victims of romance scams. This is when victims of romance scams should hire the best romance scam private investigators from the best private investigation agency to conduct romance scam private investigations on their behalf. What is a romance scam private investigator at a private investigation agency in Tulsa, Oklahoma? A romance scam private detective at our private detective agency near me is an individual who tracks down romance scammers and, if possible, the funds that romance scam victims sent them via romance scam private investigations. Romance scam investigators are adept at detecting romance scammers' schemes, working with law enforcement officials and beating romance scammers at their own games. Romance scam detectives also work on behalf of individuals accused of orchestrating romance scams to steal money from unsuspecting, vulnerable individuals. These romance scam private detectives collaborate with criminal defense lawyers in Oklahoma City, as well as bail bondsmen in Oklahoma that write bail bonds in Oklahoma City to help get romance scam charges dismissed for criminal defendants. If you or someone you know has been the victim of a romance scam, or if someone has accused you of committing romance scam crimes, then you need to hire the best romance scam detective from our best private detective agency in Oklahoma City to conduct romance scams investigations on your behalf. Do not wait. The longer you wait, the less likely it is that a private investigator of romance scams at our private detective agency in Lawton can assist you with romance scam private investigations. What is the personality of a romance scammer? All our romance scam private detectives at our private detective agency will tell you that skilled romance scammers are extremely patient, incredibly manipulative, and they have a high emotional intelligence. They know how to play into your emotions and become whatever it is they think you want and need. Romance scammers play into your trust and slowly reel you in like a fish eating a tasty worm. By the time they have reeled you all the way in, you have already swallowed the worm they have given you, and your money is in their hands. Can a private investigator find a scammer? Our romance scam detectives at our private investigation agency are adept at finding romance scammers and helping bring them to justice with our romance scams private investigations. Each romance scam detective at our private detective agency in Tulsa, Oklahoma, knows how to locate romance scammers and help beat them at their own game during their romance scam investigations. If you or someone you know has become the unwilling victim of romance scammers, then please contact private investigators in Moore, Oklahoma at our private investigation agency in Enid, Oklahoma, so they can conduct romance scams private investigations on your behalf. Can you prosecute a romance scammer? When prosecutors take legal action against romance scammers, they usually press charges such as wire fraud, money laundering, obtaining money under false pretenses, etc. Romance itself is not a crime, but the charges listed above can carry very stiff penalties that include long prison sentences, heavy fines, and repayment of stolen money. How can I help a romance scammed person? The best way to help someone who has fallen victim to romance scammers is to help get them in touch with our romance scam private investigators at our private investigation agency in Oklahoma City. Our private investigators in Oklahoma City and romance scam detectives at our private investigation agency in Lawton, Oklahoma, will conduct meaningful romance scams investigations on your behalf to locate the romance scammers and to try to help recover your lost funds. Contact romance scam detectives from our private investigation agency near me today for all your romance scam private investigations needs. What are the red flags of a romance scammer? Romance scammers and other scammers who are skilled at what they do have many tricks up their sleeves to try to get you to willingly part with your money. The following is a short list of tricks that romance scammers use that the romance scammer private investigators and private investigators in Oklahoma City at our private investigation agency near me analyze romance scam cases with when conducting romance scam private investigations. These red flags of romance scammers are as follows. 1. Romance scammers appear suddenly and unexpectedly. Our romance scam private detectives at our private investigation agency in Altus, Oklahoma, can tell you that when conducting romance scam private investigations on behalf of our clients who are victims of romance scams, that romance scammers often appear out of nowhere and very unexpectedly. This may come in the form of an accidental message sent to someone else on WhatsApp or even in a text message or via other social media. The romance scammer's victim often replies to let the romance scammer know she, he, they have the wrong person. Then the romance scammer starts up a conversation with their intended victim and becomes whomever the romance scammer feels their intended victim would most like to communicate with. 2. Romance scammers try to gain your trust. Romance scammers, as romance scam private investigators at our private investigation agency will assert during their romance scam investigations, are masters at gaining people's trust and playing on their emotions. They spend much time gathering data and other information about their intended victims, finding out about their interests, likes, and dislikes, and then they use that information to manipulate them into giving whatever they ask for. The romance scammer may do this over a period of many years if needed and profitable. 3. Romance scammers repeatedly tell you they are suddenly experiencing an emergency. One tactic that our private investigators in Oklahoma City at our private investigation agency in Tuttle, Oklahoma often find during romance scams investigations that romance scammers use is to constantly have emergencies that they promise to pay you back for if you can just loan them some money for a little while. They may pretend to be physicians who are overseas working for a short while who suddenly find themselves trapped and unable to return without paying someone. These scammers might also claim they have a medical emergency that they must cover while overseas or they will die. See how they plan on their intended romance scam victims' emotions to create a sense of urgency and desperation to get what they want? Sneaky, eh? 4. Romance scammers try to get you to act emotionally. One way that our romance scam private detectives at our private investigation agency in Kingfisher, Oklahoma have seen used while conducting romance scams investigations is that scammers often try to get their intended victims to act very emotionally. This is the IRS. Pay us X number of dollars now or we'll put a warrant out for your arrest. Of course, that's not how the IRS acts, but many people do not know that. The scammers simply want to make their intended romance scam victims afraid and scare them into acting very quickly and impulsively. 5. Scammers pretend they are your place of employment. Some scammers will pretend that they are the place you work at to get you to provide certain information to them that they can use to steal from you. Our romance scam private detectives at our private detective agency in Oklahoma and private detectives in Norman, Oklahoma at our private investigation agency in Edmond, Oklahoma will always advise people to never give out their personal information to anyone over the phone or online that they did not call and whom they do not personally know. The associated risks of losing your private information and money are just too high. 6. Romance scammers may guilt you into giving them money to prove your love to them. Romance scammers often act in the same way as manipulative significant others, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, and non-binary partners do. If you really love and care about me, you'll buy me X or give me X number of dollars. This is bad enough when it occurs in a real relationship with an abusive partner, but when it happens from someone who has gained your trust simply to take your money and you're not even getting laid, it feels even worse. Our private investigators in Oklahoma City and romance scam detectives at our private investigation agency in Piedmont, Oklahoma, would like to remind everyone to stay as far away from these toxic, manipulative idiots as you can, whether you know them in person or not. 7. Romance scammers want you to wire them money. Most romance scammers seem to prefer to have their intended romance scam victims send them money via wire, like on Western Union, via a bank wire, and/or with a gift card payment. These methods make getting your money back very difficult and make it harder to trace the payments to the scammers themselves. Our private investigators in Oklahoma City and romance scam investigators at our private investigation agency in Tulsa would like to remind everyone to never send money via wire to anyone under any circumstances. Also, never give out any of your banking information or use your personal banks to send money. Also, never give out any of your banking information or use your personal banks to send money, because scammers can use your banking information to further deplete your accounts even when you cease sending them money. 8. Romance scammers request your personal and sensitive information. Many scammers also want you to confirm your social security number, banking information, credit card information, passwords, etc. Our romance scam private investigators and private investigators in Ardmore, Oklahoma, at our private detective agency in Ardmore, Oklahoma, always tell people they are conducting romance scam investigations for to never under any circumstances give out such information to anyone over the phone, especially if you did not initiate the phone call. 9. Scammers pretend to be legitimate companies or governmental agencies. Scammers often pretend to be governmental agencies like the Internal Revenue Service, as well as businesses like Amazon, or utilities like the gas, electric, or water company. They do this to create a sense of urgency for you to act now or suffer terrible consequences. Our romance scams private detectives at our private investigation agency in Guthrie, Oklahoma, that conduct romance scam private investigations state that these scammers often tell you that a warrant is out for your arrest, the utility company will shut off your utilities, or that someone made a purchase on Amazon and they need you to call now to cancel it. These scammers may contact you over the phone, via U.S. mail, or online. 10. Romance scammers ask you to log in using a link, phone call, etc. Romance scammers and other scammers love to send you links to get you to log into their system to what looks like a legitimate site. Once there, they will ask you to enter sensitive information, and their intended scam victims often do so with the intention of trying to correct whatever they need to, and often comply. But our romance scam detectives and private investigators in Broken Arrow, at our private investigation agency in Broken Arrow that conduct romance scam investigations in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, want people to know that these fictitious sites are merely phishing sites that steal your information. The scammers then take your information and use it to access your finances. 11. Romance scammers make promises to you. Cash this check for me and I'll give you 50% of it, scammers say. I'm leaving $10 million to you because I'm a general of blank country and am dying of cancer and want you to have it, others will claim. Still, other romance scammers will feign an emergency and need your financial assistance or they will greatly suffer. I make a lot of money though, so I will pay you back shortly, they say. Our romance scams investigators and private investigators in Oklahoma City at our private investigation agency in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma that conduct romance scams private investigations can tell you that this is a complete load of crap. 12. Scammers will pretend to be members of your family. Mom, this is blank. Please tell me my social security number again quickly, please. I am at a bank and they need to know it for a financial transaction right now. Hurry, please. This is just one trick that romance scammers and other scammers will use in their efforts to secure money from unsuspecting individuals. They may also claim they are your relative and are in another country, and unless you send them money, their captors will not release them. Our romance scam private detectives and private investigators in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and our private investigation agency in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, once again wish to warn the public away from con artists and scammers like these who are out to hurt other people. 13. Scammers often offer things to you they think you want. Romance scammers and others often research their intended romance scam victims to find out their likes, dislikes, and whatever they think they want and need. Like chameleons, these con artists listen carefully to every word you say and change their actions and words accordingly. Are you lonely and looking to talk with a hot woman? No problem. Hoping to fall in love with a gorgeous physician? We have your game. Our romance scam private investigators and private investigators in Altus, Oklahoma, at our private investigation agency in Oklahoma City, will happily tell you anything and everything, promising their intended romance scam victims the moon if needed to get them to relinquish their hard-earned money. What can a romance scammer do with my picture? Romance scammers can take photos of you and use them to initiate contact with other people. More sophisticated scammers will often crop the face off of one person's photograph and interpose it onto the body of another person's photo to help avoid detection on reverse image search websites. Romance scam detectives at our private investigation agency near me that conduct romance scam private investigations have seen romance scammers and other con artists do this time and time again. Our romance scam private detectives and private investigators in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, at our private investigation agency in Ardmore that conduct romance scam investigations also assert that romance scammers may also take your photograph and use it to conduct a reverse image search of you to find out other social media profiles and sites you have. That way, they can learn more about you, your likes and dislikes, and other pertinent information they may wish to steal and/or use to manipulate you with. Our romance scam investigators and private detectives at our private investigation agency that conduct romance scam investigations say that the damage potential does not end there, however. Romance scammers can also take the photographs they have of you with your children or other family, as well as the ones they find via reverse image searches online by using your original photograph, and can use it to deduce information about your age, race, location, family members, and so much more. Always be very careful where you post your online images and ensure that other people will not have access to them. Can you track a romance scammer? Yes, there are ways to track romance scammers through nationwide skip traces, geotags on photographs, IP addresses, and more. If you have fallen victim to romance scammers and need assistance with romance scam private investigations from a romance scam private detective or private investigator in Oklahoma City at our private investigation agency in Enid, then hire a private investigator or hire a romance scam private investigator at our best private investigation agency today to conduct romance scam private investigations on your behalf. How do you know if you're chatting with a romance scammer? Our romance scam private investigators and private detectives in Tulsa, Oklahoma at our private investigation agency that conduct romance scam investigations in Oklahoma can tell you that there are several telltale signs that a romance scammer is trying to scam you. These warning signs of romance scammers are as follows. 1. The romance scammer falls in love with you very quickly. 2. The romance scammer does not have much about him, her, them online. 3. The romance scammer is unavailable to speak over the video camera. 4. The romance scammer's email, phone number, etc. do not connect to a real person when a skip tracer, process server, or private investigator at a private investigation agency does a skip trace service upon him, her, them. 5. You conduct a reverse image search upon the romance scammer, and other websites warn people that this person is a romance scammer. 6. The romance scammer asks you to move the communication to something more private, such as WhatsApp. 7. The romance scammer had plans to meet with you, but then those plans changed due to an emergency that the scammer needs your financial help with to overcome. These are just some of the many manipulative romance scammers' work to extract funds from unsuspecting romance scam victims. Do not let this happen to you. Hire the best romance scammer private investigator and private investigators at our private detective agency today to help you conduct romance scam private investigations before it's too late.